What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 129 of the Rise to Glory here with Gibraltar Apex. And today I have for you guys another episode. But if you didn't see the last episode, I don't want to give spoilers away as to what happened just yet. Go check it out. It's worth watching. It's probably the best episode of FM you'll watch on YouTube, from me at least. Certainly, it was an absolutely mental game, and I can't encourage you guys to check it out enough. Anyway, of course, if you did watch that game, you'll know that today it's the Champions League semi-final, and we're taking on CSKA Moscow. Now, this is going to be big for us. As you can see, we're away in the first leg, which is going to kick off today's episode. We're then away. There's a lot of news to get through. We've played one game since the last episode, but the big news is injuries. Massive injuries as well. Mosca and Ludwig Young out. Of course, Cabasele got sent off against Barcelona, so he's out for one game. And Pereira's also out of an injury for a double hernia. So we're down to the bare bones, and it kind of sucks. So in terms of what we can actually do for today's game, our options, I don't want to say they're limited, but they are really significantly limited compared to, what I'd normally like to do in this kind of game. The fact that Mosca's out is a real shame. Fortunately, he's back in 3 to 5 games, so he is going to have a bit of a race back to fitness, but I do hope he'll be fit again for that Champions League kind of second leg, and maybe we will still be in the game at that point. But Young in goal is such a massive player to lose. The Swede suffering a twisted knee out for, well, both legs, which is a shame. As a result, Salcedo, the Mexican, a player we have to call upon, 20 years old, relatively inexperienced, but of course we signed him last year for £5 million, so you expect something from him, the young Mexican, and I'm hoping that he can give us that something today. Of course, Cabasele is also out, so Graphite is going to have to come in the fullback position, but, I mean, it's a weird situation, really. We've got this far, and yet it feels like we almost have more to do in this game than perhaps we did kind of in the previous leg. I mean, the injury to Pereira out on the right-hand side of midfield is a bit of a pain. Fortunately, no centre mids injured or suspended, but I don't know. Our bench is slightly overloaded with defenders as a result of kind of what's been going on. This is the team, however, that we are going to go with for this opening game. We're going to go back to the 4-4-2. It kind of worked well against Barca. Of course, we'll play it by ear and see how this game goes. We are away for the first leg. CSKA will get there eventually. Moscow, they're an intriguing team, really. We'll have a quick look at their team because I feel like they deserve to kind of have the spotlight put on them. Perhaps not a team you'd expect to see in a Champions League semi-final. That said, they've got some very good players. They've got this guy who's Krzysztof Wolski, who is a Polish player, 21 years old, 28 caps for Poland. A very talented centre-mid, but he doesn't terrify me like, some of the players we've seen on teams we've come up against. If you look at their run to get this far, they've beaten Porto, PSG, they had Juventus, Everton and Atletico in their group stage. So, I mean, they can't be underestimated, but like us, they've gone through a long qualification process to get here. So, I mean, fair play to them. If we were to look at their best players, you might notice I have one of their players scouted. He's actually a player I looked to sign. It's this guy, Dmitry Bernitkov, who is a Russian player, 23 years old, a very talented centre-back. In my opinion, probably their best player. And if we look at his contract, he had a release clause of £44 million, which was something that I kind of wanted to take kind of advantage of at one point. However, I kind of decided that as much as I think he's probably one of the best centre-backs in the world, I couldn't justify paying that much for him. So he's definitely a player, Bernikov, to keep an eye out on. If we look at their striking options and their goal scorers, you'll see that their top goal scorer with 27 goals is this guy, Zangiev, who's a good player, but I wouldn't say he's terrifying. He's good in the air. He's not rapid. I mean, he's not slow, but he's a good advanced forward, I guess. But I don't know. They don't wow me, but then they've got this far. They've beaten some big teams, so we really just can't afford to underestimate them. It's worth noting they do have a few injuries themselves. Bayer, their kind of first choice left back's out, so that's a bit of a big miss for them. You can see the other players injured for them, perhaps not quite so instrumental in their team. I guess Alexander Ivanov, a player that you might consider important for them, the Russian. But yeah, we're going to get into this game and see what we can do. I mean, after the last game, and I haven't had my pizza that I said I was going to have at the end of the last game, but after the last game, I don't really know what to expect anymore. I feel like in beating Barcelona, we've kind of overcome a big hurdle, and, well, to get to the semi-finals is a massive achievement. It's that case of, can we take it one further today? Now, I probably would have said yes, kind of really assertively before this game, but with Moscow out injured, with Salcedo coming in at centre, well, not at centre-back, in goal for us, it's anything but our strongest 11. You know, to lose your goalkeeper and to lose your kind of leading striker, for me at least, are probably the two positions that going into a game like this you simply don't want to lose. Now, of course, Moscow is going to be back for the second leg, hopefully. Whether or not he's fully fit and able to start, I mean, remains to be seen. But Salcedo in goal has a point to prove, and, well, let's just hope we can do as well as we can. If we turn up in this game, we can really give them a good game. And I think we can win the game. I don't think this is an unwinnable game. As I said, they've done well to get this far, CSKA and Moscow. And to be fair, the draw could have been harder on us. But at the same time, I feel like there are perhaps the odds stacked against us. It feels like we've been dealt a pretty cruel hand kind of going into this semi-final. Either way, let's see what we can do. Mora and Smith leading the line. Without Moscow, I do feel like our attack is somewhat blunted. And, well, it's going to be tested, I guess, today. Anyway, Moscow bringing the ball forward here. CSKA cut it inside Volsky to Chanov. Cutting in from the left, and wow, that is a powerful finish by Didabersky, who scores. And, well, we're away from home, so, you know, I knew this was going to be a tough game. But 8 minutes in, despite bossing the possession to be a goal down, that is a little bit concerning. The player here gets his ball into the box a little bit too easily for my liking. Chanov brings it in, and, well, Salcedo in goal just doesn't get his angles right there, and the goal is scored relatively easily ultimately, which is a bit of a shame. That said, we've not been outclassed early on in this game, and now we are the team bringing the ball forward. Bouchard whips it in. Volsky, though, clears him. Only as far as JJ. Now can we build again? Graphite tries to switch it to Mora. JJ wins it again, though. Fireloss, the Ecuadorian, to Graphite. Whips it in. Mora spilled away by the keeper. That was a really good opportunity. It was a clear-cut chance, and hopefully we won't live to regret that, but so far, 20 minutes in, it's a tight game. We're not being bossed around, and, well, we are having the ball in their box there, but they're throwing disappointed. And Zangiev, a player who I said I wasn't wowed by, well, let's hope he doesn't wow me today. He had the ball there. Gaiganov, nice little tackle by the Ukrainian, intercepting it well. But that is a disappointing pass by Mustafa, and now CSKA Moscow bringing the ball forward. Mariovov crossed in a second time. The shot comes in. Salcedo there with a really nice save. Hopefully that can settle him into this game now. That powerful effort was a clear-cut chance, and, well, it was a nice save by the player. Tipped it round the post, and, well, the ball comes in again. It's cleared away this time, but only so as Volsky, who we know is that midfielder kind of to watch out for in this CSKA Moscow side. Anyway, they now have a set piece as well. The attacks are kind of not relenting here as the ball comes forward, and it's, well, the scorer, the first guy, again, I think Didabersky is how we decided we were going to say his name. He has the effort. And 27 minutes gone, it's a really close game in all honesty. There's been 4 shots by CSKA, but they are the team that seems to be having the majority of the chances shown going their way. And now it's Volsky with a shot, blocked away. Don't give away a penalty. We've given away a penalty. Gaiganov, what are you doing? Record transfer, needless foul. CSKA Moscow with a chance here. Salcedo, the Mexican, can he make himself a hero? He goes the right way. He can't do enough. I feel like we need to change the system. They are playing a 4-1-1, and I want to go more attacking. I want to try and exploit them. So this is what we are going to change, I think. Smith's going to play lone forward. Mora, Fireloss, Forster, attacking mids. Bouchard and JJ there. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. I mean, you'd have to say in this first half we've not been completely outclassed. I'm going to tell the players I'm not happy with the performance. I do want to get them fired up. JJ losing some confidence. He's not been great this game. The part of me wants to almost take him off based off that response. Maybe I should play him at left back like I did last game. Maybe that's the thing to do here. But no, this game, it's a close game. It's a nervy game. It's not like the first half when we played Barcelona away where we were completely dominated and just didn't have the ball. We've had a few chances, and I don't feel like we're being bullied in this game. We have the quality to take a few chances, hopefully, if we can create them. And we might be able to create one here. Mora tries to thread through the ball. Bouchard wins that ball there. Unfortunately, gives it straight away. Mustafa, though, great in the air. But now Zangiev shoots. It's saved, but they've scored. It's 3-0. It's deja vu. And I really can't see us salvaging it like we did against Real Madrid. That is going to... Well, not Real Madrid, sorry, Barcelona. The ball through there is disappointing. It's a disjointed defence, really. Salcedo needs to tip that save there wide. He needs to parry it away from goal. Instead, he parries it straight to the striker who, well, obliges with a comfortable finish ultimately. And now a set piece. Let's not just roll on our backs here. Let's try and fight back in this game, boys. They've got another chance, though, and it's Krug now. Can we dispossess him here? If we get the ball here, it's a really awkward situation for them to deal with. That said, they work the ball out well, but McMaster, quick to intercept. Now Mora charging on ahead, lays it across to Forster out wide on the right. Can he finish? Beats his man, all ends up. Unfortunately, that shot, he needed to get it away whilst he had a fraction of a second and a bit of space around him. Unfortunately, didn't do it. Did not do it. And well, 60 minutes gone. I mean, I don't know if they've had a shot in the second half, which perhaps tells you just kind of how this game's going. But I do feel like we need to go on the attack more now. And, well, we're going to try and do it. We're going to play, I think, Fearlos and Forster as inside forwards now. And I might take off Fearlos in this game. Paul Smith's not had the best game, but we're going to keep him on, I think. I'm going to bring in Gilvan, and I'm going to play Mora as a lone forward. That is what we're going to do in this game. We have 29 minutes. We kind of need at least one goal. We need that one away goal at least to give us, I think, half a chance here. Because 3-0, you know, we concede one goal in the home tie. Suddenly we need 5. And that, I mean, based off this, just isn't possible. Let's see what we can do. 20 minutes left. Of course, the more we go on the attack, the more we are going to leave Salcedo to, I guess, bail us out. And Mustafa clears the ball away nicely there. Dino Birchski, the opening goal scorer, to whipping a ball of quality, and Zangiev really perhaps should have done a little bit better. You look at the performances here, it's just been one of those games where no one has stepped up and been countered. And even now, late on, there is very little fight in this team. There is very little reason for me to be jumping up, getting excited. We have one change left. I'm going to make it here. I'm going to bring in Jose. He's going to play as a poacher. Paul Smith is going to play as a complete forward, I think, on attack. We've kind of got to go for the game at this point. There is no point in sitting back. There is no prize for second place here. Well, there is. There's prize money, but that's not the point. We need a goal. We need one goal here in the last 9 minutes, or we might as well kiss our dreams goodbye. But the more we go on the attack, of course, the more we leave ourselves open. And Zangiev shoots. Salcedo turns it round the post nicely. But you'd have to say, based off this performance, we don't have a lot of hope going into the second half. It pains me to say it. We need a goal here. Paul Smith breaking through. Can he finish it? He puts it wide. A player's been at the club for 12 years. He's been learning this striker role for moments like that. And there he doesn't get it done. Can he turn his fortunes around? Whipped in. Jose scores. Is he given offside? It's been given as a foul. And well, even when it feels like we perhaps have an element of, look, a slender, a sliver of hope, it's just dashed. And this time it's been dashed by the assistant's flag. Geigenov, bring the ball forward. There's 10 seconds left. We need a goal, but it's not going to come unless it's so late here. Graphite can't beat the first man. It's going to finish 3-0 here. That is a kick to the balls. I'm going to tell the players they were unlucky. We have Mosca coming back into the side. We know we need 3 goals, at least. We need a miracle. Forster's learning to play left wing. I mean, I'm glad it's not an injury. Let's put it that way. Right, we've got another game to look forward to. There's a Lincoln game in between. You guys don't care about that. We've got to really go for it in the second leg and prove a point. It's going to be, I don't know, it might even be a bigger achievement if we win the next game than the last episode. Either way, hopefully you guys stick around. It can't be over yet. We've got to keep fighting on. And who knows, maybe we can do it once more. Okay, guys, so we are back again here for the second leg against CSKA Moscow, and I'd be lying if I was to say I'm not a little bit demotivated going into this game. That 3-0 defeat really was humbling. We've got to try and make something magical happen at the Space Park today. In terms of how we're going to try and do that, we're going to be playing this a 4-3-1-2. It's kind of like my standard 4-3-1-2, but with a few kind of major changes. You'll notice Kabasele and Geigenov at right and left back are on full back attack rather than support. Bouchard is on advanced playmaker with JJ, but a big change here is Mora playing centre mid on attack. And they're kind of the big changes, and whilst they might seem quite minor, I think how they kind of actually make this system work, it's going to become quite apparent, I think, that there is a little bit of a change going on here compared to how we normally play. I think I'm also going to play on the highest tempo we can and push slightly higher. To be honest, we've got to try and make something happen this game. We've got to, as much as we could go into this game and we could just kind of play, not necessarily not to win, but to certainly not go through to the next round. I don't want to do that. I really do want to try and win 3-0 and take it to extra time, or win 4-0 and just go through. Or, I don't know, 4-1 isn't good enough because of away goals. It'd have to be 5-1. But it's a monumental task. I think in reality, we can't go into this game with that attitude of, yes, we are playing to get through. But at the same time, that is how I'm going to try and approach this game. But certainly my mentality for this game, kind of inside, is just try and win this game. Let's just show that we could have done this on another day. But at the same time, my overall approach, it would be it'd be a bit silly not to basically play a little bit more attacking than perhaps I normally would. You can see, looking at their team, they are going to stick with the 4-4-1-1. It worked for them last game. Fair play to them. They caught us out, CSKA Moscow. I don't want to say I underestimated them, but they did surprise me. They really did. That said, I mean, the injuries have hurt us hard. You'll notice Mosca is back in the team today, and his fitness is fairly reasonable. Of course, Ludwig Young still out injured, and he's actually going to miss the Rock Cup semi-final as well, so he's out for a little while yet, which is a real shame. That said, if this is going to be the last time we appear in Europe at the Space Park this year, I want it to be a game to remember. I want us to really go for them. And let's just see what we can do. You know, there's a chance here that we get absolutely smashed playing a little bit too attacking, but I don't know. It's a game that I go into, and, you know, if I was playing and not doing videos, I probably wouldn't be that bothered. I wouldn't have an element of hope about me. I'd be, you know, kind of accepting my fate. But after some of the games we've had, and after, well, yeah, as I said, some of the matches we've had, we can't just kind of disregard ourselves. We've got to try and make something happen. And early on in this game, you know, there's not been a lot of chances, but we are the team bringing it forward here. Bouchard whips it in, cleared away by Bernikov. And actually now CSKA Moscow looking to hit us on the break. But Mustafa, nice interception. Mora up to Smith. Smith, can he play the ball inside? He can't, but that is a finish and a half by Paul Smith. A player who, if I'm honest, he's been underwhelming when I've played him as a striker at times, but that is an absolutely insane goal there. Cuts inside on his right foot. In fact, no, it wasn't. It was on his left foot, outside the foot. Squeezes it in. That is a class finish. It's 1-0 here. It's as good a start as we could have hoped for in this game. And so far, I want to say so good. I want to win the game on the night at least, but we want to make this as close as we can. Of course, as I mentioned, if CSKA get one, we're in a hell of a lot of trouble. We really are. Like, it's pretty much GG no re at that point. And while they are on the attack here, we need to defend. Dominguez up to Zagiev. I mean, that looked offside to me. It's not been given. It's 1-1 here. We need 4 goals. We need 4. We need to win 5-1 on the night now. Volsky, the captain, threads it inside. Dominguez holds up the ball nicely. And actually, it was the number 7 offside. I don't know if, with modern day football and the new offside rule and the interpretation of interfering with play, if we have a case that number 7 was offside there. It looked like it could have been to me. But 1-1. We need 4. We need 4, boys. As I said, let's try and win this on the night now. I think that's got to be the aim. Mosca picks up a damaged foot. I mean, let's just get him off. There is no point in needlessly kind of getting him injured for any longer than he already is. I want to win this second half for the fans. I want us to at least go down fighting, because fans have turned up for this game, having lost 3-0 in the first leg in a game that, to be honest, yes, we weren't the best team in, but I do feel like 3-0 was very unfortunate. It feels a little bit anticlimactic, I guess, in a way, to look like at least we're going to be knocked out of the Champions League like this. Jose whips it in, though. Oh, I thought we were about to have an own goal come our way. Unfortunately not. But no, as I said, it feels a little bit anticlimactic perhaps after the last game, but I think it's so important to, you know, note just how severe the injury to Young really hurts our team, and also Mosca's injury in the first leg. You know, it very much changed our starting 11. You know, losing a player who's got 60 goals for the season is massive. And Salcedo in goal, bless him. He's got the ball there, the Mexican. He's just not ready for this level of football yet. You know, he's a very good, talented young goalkeeper who I think can become the successor to Young. But across these 2 legs, he's not done anything to write his name down in the history books. And it feels like a cop-out for me to blame the injuries, but I do feel like they've just had such a massive influence on this game. And, well, I feel like this game in itself, the way we've approached it, has very much been entirely shaped by that first leg. So as much as Mosca was back before he damaged his foot, you know, the situation we find ourselves in now is because of his injury and his injury only. The fact we didn't score is something that very rarely happens. That said, as I said, let's try and win this game on the night. Smith back post almost got there. I mean, 20 minutes left. We need a lot of goals. It feels, what's the word? Fruitless. It seems a little bit pointless, perhaps, to, you know, try and score 4 now. I don't think there's many systems in FM that you can change to where you score 4 goals. Let's just bring in some fresh legs for the last 8 minutes. Mora struggling a little bit. Let's just bring in Lamas there. Bouchard also struggling. We'll keep him on. We'll bring in Graphite, and we'll play him at right back. Gaiganov on a booking. I'd rather not have him booked and sent off. I say that. I mean, Cabasele got sent off recently, didn't he? He was missing the first game of this tie as well through suspension. You look at the stats of this game. I mean, it's been a tight game. It's not been an entertaining one, unfortunately, which I was kind of hoping it would be. But we've gone toe-to-toe with CSKA Moscow today, and I feel like that makes the kind of first leg performance all that more disappointing. It finishes 1-1 here at the Space Park. We get to the Champions League semi-final. What should really be something to celebrate feels like a missed opportunity, I think, against CSKA, a team who have, I don't want to say they fluked to get this far in the Champions League, but they've definitely ridden their luck, as have we. And I don't know, this seemed like a really good opportunity to go on and try and win a Champions League, and we've squandered that opportunity, I'm afraid. That first leg performance, it wasn't good enough. We can't use the injuries as kind of an excuse. We had an opportunity in that game to give a really good performance, and we didn't. CSKA Moscow, they won 3-0. It was an impossible situation really going into the second leg, and unfortunately, we couldn't do the impossible again today. Either way, as I said though, this should be a time for celebration. What a performance that's been in Europe this year. We've set a new high to get to the semi-final as a Gibraltarian team. I still think that's a ridiculous achievement in itself. And also, next episode I do believe will mark the longest series ever on my channel, this being with 130 episodes, which is something really cool to look forward to. Either way, of course, next episode will be an end of season review. We will have the Gibraltarian Rock Cup final to look forward to, so hopefully I'll see you guys on that one. As always, if you have enjoyed this video, smash the like button. If you've got any words of courage, encouragement, words of wisdom, leave them down below. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.